Good day, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in my Sasquatch Sunday video. My name is Todd Standing. I am the man who takes people out into the field and has them either live interact with or I was a Sasquatch. Don't take my word for it. I'm very excited about this video, so I'm going to get right into that. I'm going to take you out into the field. Todd Standing, Jason Shoot. You saw in the last week's video where we talked about the sighting. Well, this week I'm actually going to show you, I'm going to give you an approximation of what I saw. I'm going to show you a photograph that looks very similar and explain to you what I actually saw last week in greater detail. And mostly, it's boots on the ground. It's evidence. It's what actually happened. Two men alone up on the cliffs where I took survivor men at base camp. A fire pit that was built by survivor men. We go down. We have interactions from a Sasquatch, evidence of a Sasquatch, right where survivor men filmed the top of a head of a Sasquatch. So we're going to get into all that and more in this episode. Stay tuned. It's going to be great. Let's get into it. So right before we start getting into the footage and the boots on the ground and us up on the cliffs interacting with incredible Sasquatch stuff happening all over the place in the beautiful Rocky Mountains of Canada, I want to talk about more specifically last week. So I had a sighting. Jason Shoot was out there. He saw the shadows of a Sasquatch moving around in the moonlight. I did as well. We heard a Sasquatch climbing up on the cliffs, and I saw a Sasquatch looking over up at where the apples were, which was very interesting. It's going to further lead into what's transpiring over these 2 days. We were up on the top of these cliffs, up on the mountains, having all these interactions with Sasquatch. So what I saw was, so I'm gonna put up a photo right now. So somebody made this photo. They drew it for Jake, and they built it on the face of Jake. But what bothered me about this photo, and now actually helps bring clarity to it, is his face was too dark. Jake's face was nice and brown, and there's something about the body that was just not Sasquatch-like or not Jake-like. This body from this Sasquatch is very similar in a way. So Jake was dark brown. This Sasquatch that I saw, I don't know if it was night. I don't think it was. I could see some firelight on this Sasquatch. I know it was a nighttime sighting, but he looked much darker, like this Sasquatch that you see right now. And his body shape looked less Sasquatch-like. It looked more muscular, like a kind of like a halfway between a gorilla and a human, like this drawing indicates. And the face especially was so black. What's different though is this Sasquatch face looks just like Jake, and I could definitively see differences in the face of the Sasquatch that I saw for that sighting. So when you look at this Sasquatch, everything seemed very similar, except I'm talking the black of the Sasquatch and the black of the face, but not the nose. The cheeks were the same, the eyes were the same, the forehead placement, even the way the head is drawn, that's very extremely similar to what I saw. However, the nose was a little different, where I could see a different individual. Clearly that wasn't Jake, because Jake is bigger than that and older than that. And the track from this Sasquatch was only 16 inches, so he's not a fully grown male. And that's what I can deduce absolutely. So from here, let's get into boots on the ground, where this Sasquatch that I witnessed is all over these cliffs, interacting with us from time to time. And the evidence that you're going to see is absolutely incredible. I'm very excited about this. Merry Christmas is my Christmas gift about Todd Standing, Jason Shoot, boots on the ground, up on the top of Radium, getting incredible success. Watch it unfold. This is the second last section of this video. There's one more to follow. Tremendous evidence, tremendous success we had. I'm very excited. Enjoy. So here's a nice wide view of the upper base camp. Look at that. Holy crap. I want to watch where you step, huh? Oh, wow. Damn. Hoo-wee. That's some high stuff. Oh my God. Up on the mountain, waiting for Sasquatch. 360-degree mountain views. So, any action last night?
No action that I was aware of, apart from the stuff that you reported.
You didn't hear anything?
I didn't. I did. I did. I heard a branch snap or a big crack up, much further up the hill here.
Yeah, up there. So, and we were really taking good shifts back and forth, taking care of the fire, staying awake some of the night. I heard like a step, like a crunching step, and then I heard a rock knock that was almost as loud as a gunshot, like clack. It went clack, clack, clack. I heard it echo, loudest rock knock I've ever heard. Both of the sounds I heard, there's only mountain goats up there. Maybe, you know, if there could be mountain lions up there, not likely. But so I have no explanation for what I heard other than Sasquatch. Sasquatch make those sounds. Those are the two sounds I heard. But I saw nothing beyond that. Of course, we had that incredible sighting and substantiation of that sighting significantly with what we saw on the track that we found just down a little lower. So, but you know, and the night, it's as good as you can get out here. But saying that, it's still tough. You know, sleeping on ground like this. It's just you know, there's rocks in my back and stuff, and I don't know, like it's not warm at night. You know, you got a -20 sleeping bag.
Yeah.
You gotta go to the fire a few times and warm up. Keeping the fire going is important. We just let it die out this morning. We don't get sun until like 9:30 before it comes over the mountain over there, so it just came up. And but we're also not done. We are gonna go hike down. We've got, and I would say in this hike down, until we hit the trail at the bottom, we got a good hour and a half chance of, you know, if like I told Jason today, keep a sharp eye. So, and like I've said before, and I'll say it again, the best way to have a sighting when there's Sasquatch around is to really just keep your eye on what you're doing, and then when you feel it, look. You know, we've all had that happen where you're sitting somewhere, you're sitting in your car, and suddenly you feel like you're being watched, and you look over, and there's a person looking at you. That's your extra sensory perception, and that's the best way to have a Sasquatch sighting. So we're gonna move around. We're gonna really feel it. Really pay attention to what we're feeling. The moment you feel like you're being watched, not twitchy, not wishy-washy. It's got to be directly. I feel like I'm being there. There he is. So that's how the vast majority of my sightings happen. I can't say that yesterday. I had a Sasquatch less than 5 yards away from me, and I didn't feel it at all. What he did was he made, and I don't know if I put this in the record yesterday, but he made a little sound like it sounded like a finger hitting wood or something, like a little. Not even it wasn't a knock. It was just a gentle thudding sound that happened really fast. And I just happened to, you know, look over and boom, there, clear as day, staring at me, and he even moved closer. So really significant sighting, substantiated with evidence, and yeah, we had fun out here. How's your trip been up here?
Oh, so amazing. You know, this is just spectacular country. And I mean, I've hiked all over the world. I've been in mountains all over the world, including the Himalayas. And for me, this is probably the most picturesque, magnificent mountain scenery and vistas that I've ever encountered.
Can you drink the water around the Himalayas? Do they have glacier runoff that you can drink?
They do have glacier runoff, yeah.
Yeah, so you can drink the water there.
Can, yeah.
Because that's one thing I love. It's spectacular drinking the glacier water out here. Like that's most of what we drink. So absolutely, it is stunning and beautiful. But this dude's tough, right? He has been all over the world. He does backcountry expeditions. You kayak, you know, or canoeing expeditions for days at a time. That's not normal people. You know, look at the altitude up here. Look at this, guys. Like that's the trail down, right? And it's like that all the way. And that's as steep as that looks. Like this is level. This is the trail down. It's steeper than that. I mean, you're on all fours a lot of the time, and it's not wide. This is, you know, you're never more than 20 meters across, and usually the path that you have to stay on that's the best path with the least angles is, you know, 2 yards across. So we got about an hour and a half of that to get through before we can get to some stable, decent ground in these mountains. So it's not for the faint of heart. This is it's a tough hike, and I generally make it a rule to not only take people that are experienced. I don't even take first-year expeditioners up here, ever. I don't really care how much experience they have. I want to test their mettle at our other sites and hike them, but it's been amazing. It is beautiful, and the weather has been as good as you could hope for, although it's tough at night, but so we'll see what happens. Down we go from there. Got a little story to tell you now. So, gonna let my partner, this is Jason Shute. He's an animal behavioral expert. He is a famous dog trainer. He's got some records in, what's that fighting you call it?
Filipino martial arts.
Filipino. So, pretty cool dude. First one down this morning, sir, and what did you see?
Well, coming down here, seeing the famous apple gifting tree here.
Yes, this is the one on Survivor Man.
Absolutely. We put up 12 apples.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of apples.
Had them spread out high.
Yeah.
Very high.
Yeah.
Also on the tree and also on those two branches, those two logs on the side.
Uh-huh.
Came down this morning, completely cleaned out.
Completely cleaned out. Now, my friend, as we discussed a moment ago, there are three, count them, three beans. A mountain goat's not going to take those. If you think that pika is going to take those apples, don't ever come out in the wilderness. Ever.
Yeah.
So the famous pika that knocked over the game trail cam for Survivor Man did not take 12 apples in one night.
No.
So, Jason, is there any chance there's a human being up here?
Absolutely not.
Like, how likely is it possible a human being was up here? 0.0%. Concur.
Absolutely.
How likely is it that a bear came up here and took those apples?
It is highly unlikely. To get a bear wouldn't be coming up here.
No.
There's nothing for a bear to do up here.
No, this is not bear country. They don't come up to altitude. There's no food for them here.
Absolutely.
He wouldn't be, there's just, the chances of a bear coming up here are, I'd say, like 0.1%.
There's no resources for them up here.
However, this is the famous tree that Survivor Man filmed the top of a head of a Sasquatch. That Survivor Man came out here and lost apples. I've lost apples on many occasions. You saw evidence of a Sasquatch yesterday.
Yes.
So I've seen a Sasquatch up here. How convinced are you that there was a Sasquatch up here?
I'm 100% convinced. I mean, you saw it.
Yes.
We saw the evidence of the track.
And the sounds,
substantiated,
the shadows.
the shadows.
You know, the shadows are pretty much a sighting you had. You got to really think, man, you saw the shadow of a Sasquatch in the moonlight? That's pretty sweet.
It's possible, yes. I don't feel that's conclusive for me.
Okay.
However, there were shadows, and we're still
and they got
thinking about
different.
that. They did.
There were shadows that were shaped kind of like a person.
They did.
And then they were different.
There's no way to make that conclusive.
Okay.
But your sighting,
yes,
based on your testimony, will be conclusive.
And a track?
Absolutely.
Even a track, right?
Yep.
So y'all know, if I'm a biologist, any biologist, and I'm out here, and I see a bear track, I check bears, and there are bears here, and that's it. Scientific fact. If I come out here and I see an elk track, I check elk. Scientific fact, there are elk here. How convinced are you, fresh Bigfoot track that we found the morning after I saw a Sasquatch there?
It was exactly in the spot that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Where you saw it.
Yeah.
We saw that scrape of the moss off that rock.
Yeah.
That other larger rock loosened off.
Right.
So there was something weighted, heavy, standing there without a doubt.
Yeah, and that's a Sasquatch track. So are things starting to add up, y'all? We saw a Sasquatch here yesterday. We had some pretty interesting sounds up top. And then we come down here, 12 apples from the apple tree. 12. Gone. No pika took it. No chipmunk took it. There are pikas, there are chipmunks up here. They're not taking 12 apples in one night. The other thing too is, we were down here and the apples were up last night. When we were down here, nothing got taken. So we went up about 300 yards to our upper base camp. And we are going to next scour this area. My fine young viewers, young and old of all shapes and sizes, we're gonna scour this area to look for a track because, man, these apples were all over this tree. This is the tree that's the branch that shook when a Sasquatch came here. So in the episode of Survivor Man, the Sasquatch, look, watch this. I kick the tree. I'm kicking it. Look, that branch doesn't move for nothing. That tree is 24 inches across. If I hit it with a truck, it would move the way those branches move when a Sasquatch hit it. So, and you really need to understand the terrain too. These are cliffs right here. So cliff, 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 and there's the tree. So what I believe happens, I believe the Sasquatch comes through here, and then he hits this tree and bounces off and goes that way. He's not going this way because that's cliff and death. So I can't tell you how excited I am. So that's as far as we're gonna go today. Stay tuned for next week, as in that moment, in that very moment, as we look around, the evidence that we discover that further substantiates the incredible success that we had. My mind is absolutely blown. And then after this expedition, this was the second last expedition. There's one more expedition, man, and you're gonna be blown away. I've got some incredible stuff. Even the individuals that I was working with, very famous individuals, very powerful men, came out and had incredible success. So that'll be coming up after. So we just got a lineup of all these incredible things that happened after expeditions this year. So stay tuned, lots of more exciting stuff. Thank you for tuning in. Take care, and I'll see you soon.